Survivor Season 46 is proving to be better and better each week, but I will say, someone got out this week, and I'm very excited they're gone. We'll get to that in a few minutes.
The whole world is excited.
I think the whole world might be excited as well. I think that's probably true. Okay, so there was a lot that happened in this episode, mostly with challenges. Before we get to the challenges, there's a few key pieces we need to talk about that we see at the beginning of the episode, so tell me what those were.
So at the beginning, we start with the Yanu tribe.
Yeah.
You know, last week we didn't have a tribal because Randon went home.
Yeah.
And so Yanu ends up Banu ends up telling the other three
Tiff,
members,
Kinsey, and Q, yep.
that what he did, basically.
Yeah.
And then he's like, did I do something wrong? And they're all mad at him. And it's just like, you sealed your fate.
Yeah, which reminder, he basically spilled the beans on the entire tribe on the prior episode when he went on the journey to other players from other teams.
Planted Kinsey as the mastermind and everything.
So I'm like, first of all, if you're gonna go as far as to spill the gossip on everything that's happened on your tribe, don't go back on your like, that's just Survivor 101.
Well, and every time he does something like that, he's like, oh, did I do something wrong?
Yeah.
What did I do?
Yeah.
Why are you mad at me? And it's like, what?
Very highly emotional with little accountability.
Yeah.
So, all right, so let me get into this episode's reward challenge. So the reward and immunity were separated on this episode. So here's the thing, we just keep seeing over and over again these huge obstacle type courses, very Survivor-esque that the teams are competing on. Here's what's crazy though. So this one I think was one where they started in the water again and they come up on shore. But what's funny is, Yanu, for the first time all season, actually totally kicks it into high gear and beats the other teams by a good measure of time.
And I was actually shocked. I was like, oh, maybe we're turning around.
Yeah. What was funny about that is I'm like, of course, I feel like we've seen this in seasons past where it's like that team who just can't get it together. They win one, but then it's like the reward challenge. And I'm like, oh, well, that kind of sucks, you know?
Well, and they win fish,
Yeah.
but they haven't had their flint.
Yeah.
And so they end up going with the tarp.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, I guess that's better than nothing, but to be hungry.
I know. You have to have those resources, though. And you could tell, even though they didn't get the fish per se, they were very excited to have the tarp because that just makes it better for your...
Because they were sleeping under a cliff to get out of the rain.
Yeah, exactly. So it's helping with those different weathering conditions that they're dealing with out there. So then we move into this episode's immunity challenge. And here's what's crazy is there is really a lot at stakes here. First of all, though, before this, we learn, I'm blanking on her name now, but one of the girls on the green tribe literally says that she doesn't know how to jump, which is one of the funniest bits I've ever seen on Survivor.
And then they were all teaching her.
They're teaching her how to jump. So anyway, this episode, or this challenge, obviously involved a lot of jumping. So it was a big water obstacle course. They're jumping off one kind of structure, jumping off another structure, and then they're getting all these different pieces, and they have to throw the balls at the end, and 3 different hoops, and then there's someone in the water to go retrieve them if they needed to.
Yeah.
Once again, well, actually, who won first? Do you remember who got it in first?
It was Orange, I believe.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure. Hunter always knows how to instantly.
Hunter is magic. He has cracked the code on Survivor. I almost think it's unfair at this point. Not really. It's just crazy how good he is at it. But anyway, so obviously it was Orange and then green. And then the purple or Yanu lose again.
Here are my thoughts on why. I think that Yanu could have had a chance.
Okay.
But Banu skipped over one part where he had to jump off and then go down and dive and get the buoys.
And time is everything in these challenges.
So he had to go back
and
then do it. And so that just hurt them. And then he's out there in the water at the beginning trying to retrieve the balls for Q, the buoys for Q who's throwing them. But he's just moving at a turtle's pace.
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't have that, we need to win mentality.
I think it's just one of these things, especially with the Yanu tribe this season, where it's we see these tribes every once in a while where it's just they can't find their groove, and doesn't matter what they do, they're just not cohesive. They're not agreeing on anything. They don't know how to work together. It seems like they're all kind of at each other's throats. They're all kind of blaming someone else for the tribe not working the way it needs to, and then we just see the numbers dwindle. And unfortunately, that's Yanu this season, which last season was Lulu. We had Tika the season before that. So it's it's definitely a pattern we're seeing in kind of new era of Survivor, if you will. But it's just unfortunate because I feel like they're not skating by, because you obviously have to win these challenges, but we see these bigger tribes just kind of make it to the merge, and then we get to know them because it's so spotlighted on this one tribe that is not doing very well.
And I mean, with Yanu, I think if Jelinski would have been a little bit more not struggling as much in that first bit, that in what they would have kept around, they might have had better luck.
Had he just closed his mouth a little bit more.
Yes. And not been able to I can do everything and then fail and give up.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just, I don't know. It just is what it is. Obviously, these are randomly decided. But so we move to the tribal council where Yanu is at tribal council once again. And unfortunately, but not fortunately, really, it's Banu who is eliminated. And here's the thing.
They don't even vote.
I will say I appreciated hearing his story at Tribal Council. For once, we kind of like learned a little bit more about him as a person and maybe why he is the way that he is.
Yeah.
Dives a little bit into his childhood, where he's at today, all those kinds of things. And his other tribe members also were like very admiring of that, I guess, if you will. But it was definitely time for him to go.
Yeah.
I can appreciate for what he brought to the show. It's drama, it's high emotion, it's a fun character to watch, even though it's kind of annoying.
For a bit. It got old, especially after he wasn't booted last week, and it was like, you need to go.
Yeah, but I will say it makes me excited for tonight's brand new episode, because I'm like, okay, so now that, because the last 2 episodes, it's been like Banu's gonna go.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, okay, hopefully the 3 left, Tiff, Q, and Kinsey, hopefully they can get it together, and maybe the shift focuses to a different tribe, and we'll see some other numbers dwindle before the merge. But I don't know, who's to say?
I mean, we've got some, sneakiness going on in our green tribe with a pretend beware advantage. So, I mean, I guess we'll see what happens.
You just never know. All right, well, a brand new episode of Survivor airs tonight on CBS, and of course is streaming on Paramount Plus and Ozarks Live. We'll be right back.